All right, so we're diving into a career with some serious responsibility today. Dangerous goods safety advisor.
Yeah, talk about high stakes, right?
Exactly, and we've got RoleCatcher's guides to help us break it all down.
These guys are really great resources.
Yeah, I was really impressed.
They've got sample interview questions, insider tips, even career insights.
Let's jump right in.
Okay, sounds good.
First, what does a dangerous goods safety advisor actually do?
Well, you're essentially the guardian of safety when we're talking about transporting dangerous goods.
Oh,
By road, by rail, by sea, you name it.
so you're making sure that these hazardous materials are handled and transported the right way.
That's right, protecting people, property, and the environment.
And this field is booming, right?
It's absolutely.
With safety and environmental concerns on the rise.
It's a high-demand field.
And the guide mentions competitive salaries.
Yeah, that responsibility comes with good compensation.
Speaking of responsibility, the guide really stresses staying updated on European regulations. They can be complex.
Yeah.
So how can someone really demonstrate that knowledge in an interview?
We really want to showcase a systematic approach to compliance.
Okay.
So instead of just saying, I follow the rules,
Right.
mention specific regulations like ADR for road transport or IMDG for maritime.
Right.
Being able to explain, those core principles clearly and concisely.
Shows you've done your homework.
Yeah, shows you've done your homework.
Okay, let's get into some of those sample interview questions then.
Yeah, let's do it.
I imagine nailing these is key.
Absolutely. Preparation is key.
All right, here's one. Can you explain what dangerous goods are and how they are classified?
Okay.
Seems pretty straightforward.
It does, but there's definitely a way to answer that will really impress.
Okay, I'm all ears.
Clarity and conciseness is key,
Okay.
and avoid using too much jargon.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple. So start by just defining what dangerous goods are.
Right.
Substances that pose a risk during transport,
Okay.
to people's health or the environment.
No need to get lost in the weeds.
With chemical formulas.
Right. Then you want to showcase your knowledge of the classification system.
Okay.
Explain that dangerous goods are categorized by the hazard they pose.
Right.
So explosives, flammable liquids, toxic substances, and so on.
Give some examples.
Giving a few examples from different classes
Okay.
demonstrates a broader understanding.
So connect the theory to real-world scenarios.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, what kind of follow-up questions might come after this?
Well, they might ask about specific regulations for certain classes of dangerous goods,
Okay.
like the requirements for transporting flammable liquids by road.
Okay.
That's where your knowledge of ADR regulations would really come in handy.
So be prepared to discuss specific regulations in detail.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm writing that down.
And be able to link classifications, regulations, and real-world examples.
Got it. Now, how can RoleCatcher's AI help with this kind of prep?
Oh, RoleCatcher's AI is amazing for this.
Okay.
It analyzes job descriptions and pinpoints the specific skills and knowledge employers are looking for. Interesting.
So you can tailor your answers to precisely what they want to hear.
It's like having a personal interview coach
I know, right?
in your pocket.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, let's move on to another question. How do you ensure compliance with regulations and standards related to dangerous goods?
Okay.
This one feels like they want more than just a textbook answer.
You're right. It's about showcasing your proactive approach to compliance.
Okay.
Don't just say, I follow the rules.
Right.
Highlight your commitment to staying updated.
Yeah.
Mention industry publications, websites, professional associations you're a part of.
So show you're actively seeking knowledge,
Yes.
not passively following rules.
Exactly. And share concrete examples from your past work.
Okay.
Did you implement a new safety protocol based on updated regulations?
No.
Did you develop any training materials for your colleagues?
So those examples show you're walking the walk, not just talking the talk.
Exactly.
Now I'm curious, how does RoleCatcher's AI help with these kinds of practical examples?
It's brilliant for that.
Yeah.
The AI can actually analyze your past experiences, even if they weren't directly related to dangerous goods.
Okay.
And it can suggest how to frame them in a way that highlights those transferable skills
Nice.
for this specific role. And it even helps you incorporate those industry-specific keywords that employers are looking for.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It takes the guesswork out of figuring out what to highlight.
Right.
Okay, let's tackle a scenario-based question now.
Okay, let's do it.
Can you describe a time when you had to deal with an emergency situation involving dangerous goods?
All right.
I imagine they want to see how you handle pressure.
You're exactly right. It's your chance to showcase your problem-solving skills in a high-stakes situation.
Okay.
The key is to structure your answer effectively.
All right, how do we do that?
Briefly describe the situation.
Okay.
What dangerous goods were involved? What was the emergency?
Set the scene.
Yes, and then
Yeah.
clearly outline your role in the response.
Okay, so highlight your specific involvement.
Okay.
What's next?
Focus on the actions you took to manage that situation.
Oh.
Be specific.
All right.
Did you follow a particular protocol?
Hmm.
Did you have to make a judgment call with limited information?
Okay.
And finally, mention the outcome.
Right.
Was it resolved successfully? Were there any lessons learned?
So it's like telling a mini story
Mm-hmm.
with a beginning, middle, and end.
Exactly.
Even if the outcome wasn't perfect,
Yes.
you can highlight what you learned.
Absolutely.
Now, does RoleCatcher's AI offer any help with practicing these scenario-based questions?
It absolutely does.
Okay.
One of the coolest features is its mock interview simulator.
Oh, wow.
You can practice answering these types of questions on video and get feedback from the AI
Wow.
on your delivery content, even your body language.
That sounds incredibly useful, especially for someone who gets nervous during interviews.
It is. It's like having a safe space to practice and build your confidence.
I like that.
Yes.
Okay, let's move on to another question from the guide. How do you ensure that employees are trained and competent in handling dangerous goods?
Okay.
This seems crucial given the risks involved.
It is absolutely essential. As a dangerous goods safety advisor, you're not just responsible for your own actions, but for the safety of everyone handling these materials.
So how can someone demonstrate their expertise in training and competency development during an interview?
It's about showcasing a systematic approach.
Okay.
Start by explaining how you identify training needs.
All right.
Do you conduct risk assessments?
Mm-hmm.
Stay updated on new regulations or best practices that might require additional training.
So demonstrating proactive thinking
Yes.
and a commitment to staying ahead of the curve.
Exactly. Once you've identified the needs, talk about developing and implementing training programs.
Okay.
Do you create in-house materials, partner with external providers, leverage online platforms?
So many options.
There are. And then highlight how you assess competency.
Right.
Practical tests, written exams, simulations, observations.
Yeah.
The options are endless.
So it's about making sure that training translates into demonstrable skills and knowledge.
Absolutely.
Does RoleCatcher's AI offer any insights into the types of training programs employers are looking for?
It certainly does. The AI analyzes thousands of job descriptions and can identify the specific training certifications or programs that are highly sought after in the dangerous goods industry.
Oh, that's helpful.
Yeah.
So you can highlight any relevant experience or certifications you have,
Mm-hmm.
or even consider pursuing additional training to fill any gaps.
Exactly.
That's incredibly helpful.
It is.
It's like having access to insider information on what employers are really looking for.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's move on to another question that covers a lot of ground.
Okay.
How do you ensure that dangerous goods are stored and transported safely?
Okay, so this one goes to the heart of the role.
Yeah.
It's about showcasing your comprehensive understanding of that entire process,
Right.
from storage facilities to transportation modes.
So where does someone even begin with such a broad question?
Start by demonstrating your knowledge of the relevant regulations and standards.
Okay.
You might mention specific regulations like ADR for road transport or IMDG for maritime, depending on the context.
Okay, so establish that regulatory foundation.
Exactly.
What comes next?
Talk about your process for identifying the specific storage and transportation requirements
Okay.
for different types of dangerous goods.
All right.
Do you use checklists, risk assessments? Do you consult with experts?
So it's about having a system for evaluating risks and deciding on safety measures.
Right. Then explain how you develop and implement procedures based on those assessments,
Okay.
covering everything from labeling and packaging to secure loading for transport.
Attention to detail is critical here,
It is.
ensuring each step is safe and compliant.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm curious, how can RoleCatcher's AI help someone tailor their answer to a specific company's needs?
RoleCatcher's AI excels at that. Okay. It can analyze the job description and pinpoint specific storage or transportation requirements the employer might be looking for. For example, if the company frequently transports goods by sea,
Okay.
the AI might suggest highlighting your experience with IMDG regulations and maritime shipping practices.
That's incredibly smart.
It is.
It ensures that your answer directly addresses their needs and shows you've done your research.
Absolutely.
Now let's switch gears to communication skills.
Okay.
One question asks, can you describe a time when you had to communicate complex, dangerous goods information to non-technical stakeholders?
Excellent question. Communicating effectively with diverse audiences is crucial in this role.
It is.
You'll be interacting with colleagues, clients, regulatory authorities,
Right.
all with varying levels of technical understanding.
So how can someone demonstrate those communication skills during an interview?
Start by setting the scene.
Okay.
What information did you need to communicate, and who are those stakeholders?
All right, so set the context.
Yes. Then focus on your strategies.
Okay.
Did you use analogies or metaphors, visual aids? Did you tailor your language to the specific audience?
So it's about adapting your style to ensure clarity.
Exactly. Mention any positive feedback you've received for your communication skills, too.
Oh, good point.
Did stakeholders express appreciation for your clear explanations?
That's a great way to back up your claims.
It is.
Now, how can RoleCatcher's AI help someone identify and highlight the relevant communication skills?
RoleCatcher's AI is a pro at that.
All right.
It can analyze your resume and pinpoint experiences that demonstrate strong communication skills,
Okay.
even if they weren't directly related to dangerous goods.
That's really valuable, especially for those with diverse work backgrounds.
It is.
It helps them connect the dots and showcase those transferable skills.
Exactly.
Okay. Let's dive into risk assessment with a question. How do you conduct risk assessments for dangerous goods?
All right. Risk assessment is foundational for this role.
It is.
It's all about systematically identifying potential hazards associated with dangerous goods.
So how can someone showcase their expertise in this area during an interview?
They should outline a clear process, starting with identifying potential hazards.
Okay.
Do you use checklists, flowcharts? What resources do you consult?
So be prepared to talk about your process.
And then discuss how you assess the likelihood and consequences of those hazards occurring.
So it's not just about spotting the hazards, but also gauging their potential impact.
Precisely. Then explain how you decide on and implement control measures to mitigate those risks.
Oh.
Do you prioritize eliminating or substituting hazardous materials if possible?
All right.
Do you implement engineering controls or administrative procedures?
So creating a hierarchy of controls.
Yes.
And choosing the most effective measures for each risk.
Exactly. And don't forget about documenting and communicating the findings of your risk assessments.
Okay.
Who needs to be informed, and how do you ensure those control measures are implemented and effective?
So it's a cyclical process.
It is.
Assessing, implementing, monitoring, and improving.
Yes.
Now, does RoleCatcher's AI offer any insights into different risk assessment methodologies that employers might prefer?
Absolutely. The AI can analyze job descriptions and identify any specific methodologies or tools that the employer might be using,
Okay.
like ASOP or FMEA.
Right.
This allows you to tailor your answer and demonstrate familiarity with their preferred approach.
That's really helpful. It shows you've done your research and are prepared to adapt to their specific needs. Okay, let's talk about waste management
Right.
with this question. How do you ensure that dangerous goods are disposed of safely and in compliance with regulations?
Okay, improper disposal can have serious consequences.
Yeah.
So this is another critical aspect of the role. It's all about knowing those regulations and implementing safe practices.
So where should someone start when answering this question?
Begin by highlighting your understanding of the relevant regulations.
Okay.
You might mention the European Waste Catalog or the Basel Convention.
Right.
Then describe your process for determining the specific disposal requirements for different types of dangerous goods.
Okay.
Do you consult safety data sheets or work with specialized disposal companies?
So classifying the waste and choosing the appropriate methods.
Exactly. Then discuss how you develop procedures for handling, labeling, and transporting hazardous waste.
Oh.
Do you have protocols for segregating different types of waste or specific training for employees?
So ensuring every step is safe and compliant.
Mm-hmm.
Does RoleCatcher's AI provide any insights into specific waste disposal regulations that certain employers might emphasize?
It does. The AI is great at identifying keywords related to specific disposal methods,
All right.
certifications, or regulations that employers might be looking for, so you can tailor your answer to highlight relevant experience or certifications.
That's fantastic. It helps you align your skills with their specific needs.
Yeah.
Okay, let's wrap up this section with a question focusing on decision-making.
Okay.
Can you describe a time when you had to make a difficult decision related to dangerous goods safety?
This one's all about showcasing your judgment and ability to handle pressure.
Right.
Start by describing the situation and the challenges you faced.
Yeah.
What were the risks and what competing priorities did you need to consider?
So clearly lay out the dilemma.
Yes. Then walk the interviewer through your decision-making process.
Okay.
What information did you gather? Who did you consult? What factors did you weigh? Finally, describe the outcome and any lessons learned.
It's about demonstrating a structured approach to decision-making under pressure.
Exactly.
Now, I'm curious, how can RoleCatcher's AI help someone prepare for these types of behavioral questions?
The AI is great at analyzing your past experiences and identifying situations that demonstrate your decision-making skills.
Okay.
Even if your experience wasn't directly related to dangerous goods, the AI can help you frame your story in a way that highlights those transferable skills and resonates with the interviewer.
That's incredibly helpful,
It is.
especially for someone transitioning from a different field.
Yeah.
Okay, let's tackle one final question before we move on.
Okay.
What measures do you take to ensure continuous improvement in dangerous goods safety?
This one gets at your proactive approach to safety management.
Okay.
It's about going beyond just the minimum requirements and constantly seeking ways to enhance those safety practices.
So how can someone demonstrate that commitment to continuous improvement in an interview?
Start by explaining your process for identifying opportunities for improvement.
Okay.
Do you regularly review safety procedures, analyze incident reports, solicit feedback from employees?
So having a system for spotting those potential areas for enhancement.
Exactly. Then talk about how you develop and implement improvement plans.
Okay.
Do you use a structured problem-solving methodology like PDCA?
Mm-hmm.
Do you involve stakeholders in the process?
So it's about turning those identified opportunities into actionable plans.
Right. And finally, mention how you measure the effectiveness of those plans.
Okay.
Do you track key performance indicators related to safety incidents? Do you conduct follow-up audits to ensure that procedures are being followed?
It's about closing the loop and making sure those improvements are actually making a difference. Now, how can RoleCatcher's AI help someone tailor their answer to a specific company's culture and approach to continuous improvement?
RoleCatcher's AI analyzes company websites, news articles, even employee reviews to understand their values and priorities.
Wow.
Yeah. So it can then suggest ways to frame your answer
I see.
that align with their specific approach to safety and continuous improvement.
That's really impressive.
It is.
It's like having a behind-the-scenes look into the company's culture.
Exactly.
Okay. I think we've covered a lot of ground in terms of interview questions.
Yeah, we have.
Let's shift gears and talk about career progression in this field.
Okay, sounds good.
The guide outlines different stages from entry-level to senior positions.
It does.
What stood out to you?
The emphasis on continuous learning really jumped out at me.
Yeah.
Staying updated on regulations, attending conferences, pursuing certifications all seem essential.
So it's a field where you never really stop learning.
Absolutely.
The guide also mentions the importance of building a portfolio,
Yes.
showcasing your safety expertise.
That's a great tip for anyone, regardless of their career stage.
Yeah, it's like having tangible proof of your skills and experience.
It is.
What specific items would you include in a portfolio like that?
You could include reports you've written,
Okay.
risk assessments you've conducted, training materials you've developed, or even presentations you've delivered on safety topics.
So it's a way to demonstrate your practical knowledge and showcase your accomplishments.
Exactly.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like showing, not just telling potential employers what you can do.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's switch gears a bit and talk about how RoleCatcher's AI can help with showcasing your experience and skills in a way that aligns with these different career stages.
Okay.
That sounds incredibly useful, especially for someone who might be transitioning into this field from a different industry.
Absolutely. RoleCatcher's AI can analyze your resume and compare it to job descriptions for dangerous goods, safety advisor roles at various levels.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it can help you see if your resume highlights the right skills and experience for the level you're targeting.
Precisely. And it can identify any gaps or areas where you can strengthen your resume to make a better impression on potential employers.
That's a great way to ensure your resume is tailored to the specific requirements of each job you apply for.
It is, and it can even suggest specific keywords or phrases to incorporate based on the language used in those job descriptions.
So it helps you speak the language of the industry and make sure your resume gets noticed.
Exactly. It's like having a personal resume writer who understands the nuances of the dangerous goods safety field.
That's incredible.
Yeah?
Now, before we wrap up this first part of our deep dive, let's touch on something you mentioned earlier, the competitive salaries in this field.
Okay.
The guide highlights it as a high-demand profession with good earning potential.
It's true. The responsibility that comes with this role is definitely reflected in the compensation.
Yeah.
And with the increasing focus on safety and regulations, the demand for skilled professionals is only going to grow.
That's great news for anyone considering a career in this field.
It is.
Sounds like a path with both job security and financial stability.
Absolutely. And with RoleCatcher's AI helping you navigate that job search process, you'll be well equipped to land that dream role.
I think that's a fantastic place to pause for.
Hmm.
We've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive, exploring interview questions, career insights, and how RoleCatcher's AI can be a game changer for job seekers.
We've only just scratched the surface.
I know, it feels like we have.
In the next part, we'll delve even deeper into the nuanced aspects of this profession,
Okay.
exploring ethical considerations and the evolving landscape of dangerous goods safety.
Stay tuned for more insightful discussions and practical tips.
We'll see you soon.
Welcome back to our deep dive into becoming a dangerous goods safety advisor.
Yeah.
In the last part, we tackled some tough interview questions.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's shift gears and explore those example profiles from RoleCatcher's Guide.
Okay.
It's one thing to read about job responsibilities, but seeing how real people describe their experience is super valuable.
It definitely adds a human touch.
All right, let's start with the entry-level stage. What kind of responsibilities and tasks does someone typically handle at this point?
Think of it as building a solid foundation.
Okay.
You'd be assisting senior advisors with inspections,
Okay.
learning the ropes of those complex European regulations, and getting hands-on experience with documentation and reporting.
Lots of learning and shadowing experience professionals.
Exactly.
Now, RoleCatcher's Guide actually have an example profile from someone at this stage.
It does.
What stood out to you about their description?
Their enthusiasm for learning was really contagious.
Okay.
They talked about how much they enjoyed going on-site for inspections
Yeah.
and learning about the different types of dangerous goods and the specific regulations for each.
Okay.
It's clear that they see this as a stepping stone
Yeah.
to a really rewarding career.
That's encouraging for someone just starting out.
It
It
is.
shows that even at the entry level, you're getting real-world experience and contributing to safety.
Absolutely.
Okay. Let's move on to the junior advisor stage.
Um,
What does a typical day look like at this point?
At this stage, you're taking on more responsibility.
Yeah.
You'd be conducting your own inspections,
All right.
preparing risk assessments, and even providing recommendations for improvement.
So you're putting your knowledge into practice
Yeah.
and making a real impact.
Absolutely.
The guide has an example profile from a junior advisor as well.
It does.
What insights did they share?
This person talked about the satisfaction they got from identifying potential hazards
Well-
and recommending solutions.
Mhm.
They described a time when they noticed a potential fire risk in a storage facility.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and their recommendations actually led to improvements
That's great.
in the company's safety procedures.
That's a fantastic example
It is.
of how even early in your career, you can contribute to making workplaces safer.
Absolutely.
All right, let's talk about the experience stage.
Okay.
This is where you start to become a true expert, right?
Exactly.
You're leading investigations,
Mm-hmm.
developing robust safety protocols, and even mentoring junior colleagues.
Yeah, you're becoming a real leader in the field.
It's a leadership role as well as a technical one.
Absolutely.
What does the example profile for this stage highlight?
This individual spoke about the challenge and reward of developing comprehensive safety training programs for their company.
Okay.
They described the process of identifying needs, creating materials, and delivering training that empowered employees to handle dangerous goods safely and confidently.
That's awesome.
It is.
It's a great example of how experience leads to a broader impact on safety culture.
Exactly.
That's inspiring. It shows how you can use your expertise to educate and empower others, creating a ripple effect of safety consciousness.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the top level, the senior advisor.
Right.
This is the pinnacle of the career path, right?
It is.
At this level, you're overseeing all aspects of dangerous goods transport, providing strategic guidance to the company
Right.
and collaborating with stakeholders.
Yeah. Yeah, making sure everyone's on the same page when it comes to safety.
You're the go-to expert, a mentor to others,
Yeah.
and a driving force for continuous improvement.
That's right.
Wow. It's a role with significant influence and responsibility.
It is.
What insights did the senior advisor in the example profile share?
This person described their role as being a safety advocate for the entire organization.
Okay.
They talked about the importance of building strong relationships with stakeholders, fostering a culture of open communication,
Yeah.
and staying ahead of the curve on emerging trends and regulations.
It sounds like a really proactive role.
It is.
They clearly see their role as going beyond compliance. It's about creating a truly safe and responsible work environment.
Exactly.
That's a powerful message.
It is.
It shows that a senior advisor is not just a technical expert, but also a leader
Right.
and a champion for safety.
That's right.
It's a role that requires a unique blend of skills and experience. Now let's talk about how someone can prepare for a job interview that aligns with one of these specific career stages.
Okay.
That's where RoleCatcher's AI comes in handy.
It does.
It can analyze job descriptions and it identify the specific skills and experience that employers are looking for at each level.
At each level.
So if someone's applying for a junior advisor position,
Right.
the AI can help them tailor their resume and answers
Absolutely.
to showcase the right level of experience and expertise.
It's about highlighting your accomplishments and skills
Yeah.
in a way that resonates with the specific requirements of each role.
That's incredibly helpful.
It is.
It takes away some of the guesswork and allows you to present yourself in the best possible light.
Absolutely.
Now let's shift gears a bit and talk about a topic that's become increasingly important in all industries: sustainability.
Okay.
Sustainability is no longer just a buzzword.
No.
It's a core value that's shaping the future of dangerous goods transport.
Absolutely.
And I imagine it has significant implications
Mhm.
for the role of a dangerous goods safety advisor.
It does.
What kind of impact are we talking about?
Well, advisors will need to be knowledgeable about not just the safety aspects, but also the environmental impact
All right.
of different transportation methods,
Yeah.
packaging choices, and disposal practices.
So it's about finding that balance
Yeah.
between ensuring safety and minimizing the environmental footprint.
Exactly.
For example, there might be a shift towards using less hazardous materials whenever possible, optimizing transportation routes
Right.
to reduce fuel consumption and emissions,
Yeah.
or exploring more eco-friendly packaging options.
Absolutely.
That makes a lot of sense. It sounds like the role of a dangerous goods safety advisor is going to become even more complex
It is.
and multifaceted in the future.
Definitely.
It definitely is. And that's why continuous learning is so important.
Absolutely.
Advisors need to stay informed
Yes.
about new regulations, emerging technologies,
Right?
and best practices in sustainability
Exactly.
to effectively navigate this evolving landscape.
It's a lot to keep up with.
It is. Now I'm curious, how can RoleCatcher's AI help someone incorporate sustainability considerations into their interview preparation?
RoleCatcher's AI is fantastic for this.
Okay.
It can analyze job descriptions,
All right.
company websites, and industry news to identify keywords and phrases related to sustainability.
So it can help you tailor your answers to align with the company's specific sustainability initiatives and values. For instance, if the company emphasizes using electric vehicles for local deliveries
Okay.
or reducing plastic packaging, you can highlight any experience you have in these areas.
Yeah,
Or express your enthusiasm for contributing to their sustainability goals.
absolutely.
That's a great way to show that you're not only knowledgeable about dangerous goods safety,
Right.
but also aligned with the company's broader mission and values.
That's a really good point.
Now let's talk about a topic that's often overlooked in job search advice networking. Networking is incredibly valuable,
It is.
especially in a specialized field like dangerous goods safety. It's about building relationships with people
Yeah.
who can offer insights, advice,
Right.
and even potential job leads.
Exactly.
But for someone who's new to this field, networking can seem daunting.
Yeah, it can be intimidating.
Where do you even start?
RoleCatcher's Guide offers some great tips.
Okay, what are they?
Attending industry conferences and events is a fantastic way to meet people,
Right.
learn about new trends, and expand your knowledge.
It's a great way to mingle with other professionals
It is.
and get a feel for the industry.
Absolutely.
The guide also suggests joining professional associations
Yes,
related to dangerous goods, safety, or logistics.
that's a good one.
That's a great way to connect with like-minded individuals,
Yeah,
access resources, and stay informed about industry developments.
it's a great way to stay up to date.
And don't underestimate the power of online networking.
Oh, yeah.
LinkedIn is a valuable platform for connecting with professionals in your field,
Mm-hmm.
joining groups,
Right.
and participating in discussions.
So networking isn't just about attending those stuffy events.
Right.
It can be as simple as connecting with people online
Yeah,
and engaging in conversations.
exactly.
Yeah.
Now, I'm curious, how can RoleCatcher's AI help someone leverage their network during the job search process?
RoleCatcher's AI is surprisingly helpful with networking.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it can analyze your LinkedIn profile
Okay.
and identify connections who work at companies you're interested in
Right.
or have experience in dangerous goods safety.
So it helps you tap into your existing network
Mm-hmm.
and potentially uncover hidden opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. It can also suggest people you might want to connect with.
Okay.
based on your career goals and the types of companies you're targeting.
That's really smart.
It is.
It's like having a virtual networking assistant working behind the scenes to expand your professional circle.
I like that.
Now, before we move on, I want to touch on a topic that often comes up in job interviews: salary expectations.
Okay.
Salary negotiations can be tricky,
They can be.
but it's important to go into the conversation prepared and confident.
Absolutely.
But how do you determine what a reasonable salary range is
Yeah, that's a tough one.
for a dangerous goods safety advisor role?
It is. But RoleCatcher's AI can be incredibly helpful for this.
Okay, how's
It analyzes salary data from millions of job postings
Wow.
and can provide you with a realistic salary range
Okay.
based on your experience, location, and the specific requirements of the role.
That's amazing. It takes away some of the guesswork
It does?
and gives you a solid foundation for negotiations.
Yeah, and the AI can also provide insights into the types of benefits and perks
Okay.
that are commonly offered in this field.
Right.
So you can factor those into your overall compensation expectations.
That's really helpful. It's all about understanding your worth and negotiating a package that aligns with your skills and experience.
Absolutely.
Now, before we wrap up this second part of our deep dive, I want to circle back to a topic we discussed earlier: continuous learning.
Okay.
Continuous learning is absolutely crucial in this field.
It is.
The regulations, technologies, and best practices are constantly evolving.
Right.
So staying ahead of the curve is essential for career growth and success.
Absolutely.
But with so many options available, it can be overwhelming to know where to focus your learning efforts.
It can be.
But RoleCatcher's AI can actually help you prioritize your learning goals.
Oh, wow.
It analyzes job descriptions,
Okay.
industry trends, and even your own skills and experience to recommend specific courses, certifications, or conferences
Interesting.
that will be most beneficial for your career advancement.
So it's personalized.
It is. It's like having a personalized learning roadmap
Yeah.
guiding you towards your career goals.
Oh, I like that.
I think that's a fantastic place to pause for now.
Okay.
We've explored so much in this second part of our deep dive,
We have.
from career progression insights to sustainability considerations to networking tips.
It's been a jam-packed episode.
But there's still more to come.
There is.
In the final part, we'll delve into some of the more nuanced aspects of this profession,
Okay.
discussing ethical dilemmas, the evolving regulatory landscape, and the skills that will be in high demand in the future.
Sounds good.
Stay tuned for more insightful discussions and practical tips.
We'll see you soon.
Welcome back. We're wrapping up our deep dive into the world of dangerous goods safety advisors.
It's been a journey.
It has. We've tackled interview prep, explored career paths. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty,
Okay.
those nuanced challenges and the evolving landscape of this field.
It's not just about knowing the rules, you know.
Right.
It's about making those judgment calls when safety is really at stake.
What kind of ethical dilemmas might someone in this role actually encounter?
Let's see.
Imagine you're under pressure to ship something urgently,
Okay.
but you have doubts about the packaging.
Of some hazardous materials.
All right.
Do you prioritize speed and potentially risk safety, or do you stand your ground and risk delays and upset clients?
That's a tough call.
It is. It can be a really difficult situation.
It sounds like there's a lot of pressure on the advisor
Yeah.
to make the right choice, even when facing those conflicting priorities.
Absolutely.
And are there other ethical dilemmas?
Oh, yeah. There are so many.
Let me come up.
You might have situations where you have to balance safety with environmental concerns.
Okay.
Maybe you have to choose between a disposal method that's more expensive but eco-friendly,
Right.
or a cheaper option with a bigger environmental footprint.
So it's not always black and white.
No, it's not.
It's about making those informed decisions that consider a whole range of factors.
Absolutely. And that's why continuous learning and professional development are so important.
Right.
Staying updated on best practices and ethical guidelines can really help you navigate those gray areas.
Speaking of evolving practices, the dangerous goods industry is constantly changing.
It is.
What trends are shaping the future of this profession?
Well, technology is a huge factor.
Okay.
We're seeing more sophisticated tracking systems, real-time monitoring of shipments, even AI predicting potential risks.
So it's becoming a more data-driven field.
Yeah, absolutely.
What does that mean for aspiring dangerous goods safety advisors?
It means they need to be tech-savvy.
Okay.
Being comfortable with those digital tools and data analysis is going to be crucial.
Makes sense. Any other major trends on the horizon?
Sustainability is a big one.
Yeah.
There's a huge push to lessen the environmental impact of transporting dangerous goods.
Absolutely.
We're talking about using less hazardous materials, optimizing routes for fuel efficiency, and exploring eco-friendly packaging and disposal.
So it's about finding that sweet spot
Yeah,
between safety and environmental responsibility.
exactly. Dangerous goods, safety advisors will need to think about that entire life cycle of these materials.
Okay, so it sounds like this role is becoming even more complex
It is.
and multifaceted in the future.
Yeah, definitely.
What advice would you give to someone starting out in this field, knowing how much it's evolving?
I would say first embrace lifelong learning.
Sure.
Devour those industry publications, attend conferences, network with experienced professionals, never stop soaking up knowledge.
Stay curious
Yes,
and stay informed.
exactly. And don't hesitate to ask questions.
Mhm.
The best in this field are always seeking to deepen their understanding.
Great advice.
Mm.
What else is crucial for success in this role?
Well, you need to hone those communication skills.
Okay.
You'll be talking to everyone from truck drivers to CEOs to government officials.
Right, a very diverse group of people.
It is. And being able to explain complex information clearly and concisely,
Yeah.
that's a must-have skill.
So it's not just about the technical knowledge,
Right.
but also about connecting with people.
Exactly. And finally, be a champion for safety.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to speak up if you see something wrong.
Right.
Even if it means pushing back against pressure or challenging the status quo.
That takes courage.
It does.
It sounds like being a dangerous goods safety advisor is more than just a job. It's a commitment.
I think that's spot on. It's a profession for people who are passionate about protecting lives and the environment.
Well said.
Yeah.
With the growing focus on safety and sustainability, this field has a bright future.
It does. It's a career path that offers both challenges and immense rewards.
And remember, whether you're just starting out or looking to advance your career, RoleCatcher's AI can be a valuable tool every step of the way.
It can be. It's like having a personalized career coach right in your pocket.
That wraps up our deep dive into the world of dangerous goods safety advisors.
It does.
We've covered the essentials, explored the challenges, and hopefully inspired you to pursue this impactful career.
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic field.
It is a great field, and thanks to RoleCatcher for providing such fantastic guides.
They're really impressive.
They are. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and above all,
Yeah.
stay safe.